It's time to wake up and win the weekend. You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JP the Ticket, giving you that grease. Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time for the live action on Vegas Scoreboard Express on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400. Dive into the game day with my in-depth analysis, expert predictions, and winning plays from the sharpest minds in sports betting. It's more than just placing bets. It's about securing wins. Head over to jbtheticket.com and be sure to tune in to KSHP this weekend from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time to ride the winning wave with VSX. Tune in and get your money back from the sports book. All money, all sports, no bull. Missed the live show? Subscribe to Vegas Scoreboard Express on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts and radio listening.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at KSHP.com. Go to KSHP.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
Yo. You're in the mix. World's finest, man.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease. Waking you up early in the morning, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Live 107.1 FM, KSHP. Tune in everywhere you want to be. We're giving you the NFL division rounds this morning, keeping the cash going in your pocket. And I got my main guys on the line with me, of course. Troy, West from TroyWins.com. Good morning, Troy. How you doing?
Good morning, Vegas. Good morning, JB. Couldn't be more excited for these divisional round playoffs, baby.
And we're going to tell you where the cash is at. You guys can go over to my website, jbtheticket.com, getting you locked and loaded. Here in studio with me, of course, my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, waking you up in the morning. Follow him over on the X-Bird at RaiderHawk001 and on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Good morning, Ron. How you doing?
Good morning, JB. How you doing today, brother?
We're waking up, trying to get the cash in the pocket. Got a special guest in studio here with me today. Sports psychiatrist. He does therapy for couples, anyone who needs to get their life together. You know I'm one of those people. We're going to be talking some dog betting today, mindsets to put cash in your pocket. My main man, Dr. David Schoonover, in the building. Good morning, Doc. So glad to have you here locked in and loaded with me. And again, you guys can wake up each and every morning here with us, KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM. Ronnie B, Chief Handicapper, JB the Ticket.com is on the line with me. Ronnie B, how you doing?
Good morning, JB. Good morning, Vegas. Let's make some money today.
That's right. The divisional rounds, Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers. The dogs are barking. Plus 10 across the board. We're going to tell you how to split those totals up and get the cash in your pocket. And then later on down the line, of course, we're bringing him on John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook on the half hour. So you guys keep it locked here with me, JB the Ticket, and Vegas Scoreboard Express. You follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket. When I get back from this short commercial break, guys, we're jumping into it with Dr. David Schoonover. Going to talk a little bit about the Raiders hiring Antonio Pierce. I'm the first person that told you to do it. Take the interim off of his name and put some respect on his name, and they finally did that. So again, shout out to the Raider Nation for making that happen, and shout out to Mark Davis for making the right decision. So when I get back from this short commercial break, guys, we're jumping into the grease. Straight grease. Stay with me. Let's get the money. You're listening to the boss of the big JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Skip your cable bill this month. Enjoy the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Yo. You're in the mix. World's finest, man.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard. Giving you that grip. Waking you back up, JP the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live, 107.1 FM. Got him here in studio with me, my main man, Ron Third Town Best Bets on the line. Troy West from TroyWins.com. We're operating the grease this morning. It's like we're frying fish up in here. We're telling you where the cash is at. Of course, my main man, Ronnie B, Chief Handicapper, JBTheTicket.com, is in studio on the line here with us, guys. It has been an eventful week in the NFL. The dogs were barking last week in the divisional round. We got some big matchups this morning. Again, the Houston Texans. Shout out to C.J. Stroud, first-year head coach D'Amico Ryan. These two guys are proving what the GMs in the NFL are wanting to do, talking about getting people who can step right in and win right away. So we want to talk about that game to get started off. Rotation number 301, the Houston Texans heading out to Baltimore. It's going to be a cold one. Weather could be a factor here. Baltimore Ravens, rotation number 302. Again, here in studio with me, we're going to go ahead and get him talking about it. Dr. David Schoonover. He is a professional therapist. Again, couples, anyone who needs to get their life together. Some of you Raiders out there that took some losses this year, maybe might need some help, might want to be listening this morning because we got a guy who can help you out. So, Dr. David, again, thank you so much for being here in studio with us.
Thanks, David.
Now, I want to make sure I got your mic up there. And when you talk about this particular matchups this weekend, you got Green Bay, San Francisco. That's going to be another one of the rematches that we've seen in the NFC. But talk a little bit about your practice, what you bring to the table, how you're helping the Vegas community basically keep it together. And from a sports perspective, I know you work with a lot of athletes, helping them reach peak performance. A lot of that is mental, okay? You got to have people mentally ready to perform, mentally ready to deal with the media, mentally ready to deal with a lot of the things that come along with sports and the society and lifestyle around that. So some of your insights and thoughts, again, tell the fans who you are here listening in Las Vegas and around the world. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks. Well, my name is Dr. David Schoonover. All my clients and friends call me Doc. And one of the things that I do, in just as a general overview, is everything in life is relationship based, whether it's a relationship with yourself, a spouse, a friend, those kind of things. And what happens is people jump into these relationships and they don't ask the right questions. They don't look for the red flags, those kind of things. And I like to use a lot of analogies in my work. And typically what happens is if you take a fence building example, if you're off by a quarter inch when you begin, a mile later, you're way off. And that's kind of how these relationships go. And I found that to be true with a lot of the sports athletes that I've worked with. So as an example, if you're a coach in the NFL, what do you know about your running back? Well, you signed him to a bunch of money. You know what his birthday is and you know how many kids he's got. But what do you know about him? What do you know about your assistant coaches, right? You don't. You just don't. So what I do, there's some testing I require all of my clients to do before we get started. I get a really good idea of who they really are. And then at that point, we dig right in. I like to use a lot of analogies, and I'll give my age away here a little bit. The old LPs, you got the A side and the B side, right? Mm-hmm. Well, with most people, that's the A side that we don't have to worry about. That's all the good stuff that you do. What I focus on is getting right to the behavior that we can change. And I've been able to help a lot of people over the last 20 years understand self-actualization, understanding why they do what they do, why they act or react like they do. And from a sporting standpoint, if you're a coach and you've got a running back and you know how to motivate him on how he thinks and how he moves and what gets him going, then you're far better off. You'll get the most out of your players. When I deal with individuals or couples, it's the same thing, but just not on a professional sports basis. So, Sally and Bob, they've been married 10 years and their relationship has just gone horrible. They don't understand. Let's just say that Bob hates red and he comes home from work and his wife is wearing all red. She's mad. He's mad. Arguments happen. They don't know why. So what I do to them is I bring light into their life and I show them, hey, this is why you think like this. This is why you react. So we concentrate on the behavior.
Right. Concentrating on the behavior. Again, my main man, Dr. David Schoonover. You can check him out at thelighthouseSessions.com. ThelighthouseSessions.com. I want to talk a little bit about sports betting, sports bettors, some of the behavior. It's absolutely atrocious. Troy West, I'm going to throw this one at you. I want to get into it. You're a professional sports handicapper again. Troy West from TroyWins.com. Follow him on the Instagram at TroyWins. If you got any questions specifically for Dr. David, now's the time to ask. I'm going to go around the round table here for you guys to ask Dr. David anything. I may even open up the phone lines this morning. You're going to be here with me all morning, right? Fantastic. Waking you up on Saturday morning here, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. So, Troy, I know that when we met, we were talking about some of the challenges that we have in getting clients to sign up with our sports betting packages. They think they know more than us. We're professionals. We do this all the time. We've got a professional psychiatrist in here who's helping people think better, do better, and make better decisions. So I know you may have a couple of questions for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest mistake people are making in sports betting right now is everybody's trying to get the lottery ticket. Now, you see these guys walking up to the window betting $20 on these 10-teamers trying to hit big. People got to understand that $20 adds up over time. So, how can we change the thinking of these sports bettors? I mean, I could be honest with you, out of the clients we have, I'd say 1% of them are winning, and it's because all of these guys have the mind trade now to hit the big one. I mean, you see it on the slot machines in Vegas. Everybody's sitting down trying to hit the big one. How can we change that thinking where people actually go into this thing with the chance to win?
Go ahead, Doctor.
Yep. That's a really great point. So typically in a situation like that, what you want to do is you really want, because there's so many people out there that are doing sports betting and everybody's got an in or an idea of who's going to win, those kind of things. You have to look at the data, and the numbers don't lie. So you look at the teams that are doing well, doing bad, and you look at who you're betting against, right? So do your due diligence, check your data, see who's playing, see who's at full strength, those kind of things. Take all the like weather, you take all these elements that are come into play, right? In a football game as an example. You can't just bet on a hunch. If you do that, you're going to spend that $20 you're talking about all day long, and you'll be broke at the end of the week. So,
telling you, it's going to be a bad situation for you. I see it a lot too. And when I started off, I'll be honest with you, I was one of those bettors who were taking the lottery tickets. But now I don't do that again. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. You're locked in here with us live, 107.1 FM, AM 1400, Las Vegas. We're making it happen for you this morning. Dr. David Schoonover. Again, go to his website, thelighthouseSessions.com. I know you guys want to hear a little bit about this game. Let's talk about it. A mindset, first-year head coach, first-year quarterback, rotation number 301, the Houston Texans, plus 9.5. Huge dog on the line today, heading out to the Baltimore Ravens, who haven't been able to get over the hump. They've been in this situation several times before. Rotation number 302, minus 9.5. So you've got two different mentalities here. You have a quarterback in Lamar Jackson, again, had a great season, stayed healthy. That's the reason they're the division winners. 13-4, 11-6 against the spread, but only 5-4 at home against the spread. Winning record of 6-3, but that means there's some openings there. Ronnie B, Las Vegas here, and JBTheTicket.com, Chief Handicapper. I want to throw this at you. Pose a question to Dr. David here. When you look at a minus 9.5 with the Baltimore Ravens and you look at what Lamar Jackson has been able to do this season, do you think he has the mentality in this weather today to blow out the Houston Texans? Because that's what it's going to take with a large spread like that. And then on the other side, my thought is, DeMeco Ryans, first-year head coach. He knows defense is going to be the key, and if they can get Lamar Jackson out of the pocket and keep protection for C.J. Stroud, which was a big reason they were able to take that big win down last week, I think that's a mentality they're coming in. I mean, as a huge dog, plus 9.5. If you look at it on the money line, you can get plus 340 with the Houston Texans. With a dog that's rolling like that, do you think that now that they've got to come out of the dome environment and come into the elements, that there's going to be some issues? Ronnie B. And then, of course, if you got the question for Dr. David, go ahead.
I'll tell you what, I've looked at both these games, and as we've talked about, the gamblers think they know more than we do. We do this for a living and a profession and spend 6 to 8 hours a day looking at numbers and calculating weather and coaches and players, and who's hurt, who's not. I think what Houston has going right now is a good relationship with a first-year coach and a first-year quarterback. So they both come into this, walking into the season together and trying to build off of that, which they've done. Now they're going to go into the Baltimore Ravens den. They're not in their home facility, their comfort level. And they're going to have to deal with the weather elements, and they're going to have to deal with a lot of healthy players on the Baltimore side, which some of the stats that you just quoted, JB, Lamar hasn't had the offensive weapons that he has today that have been healthy. So I think this game is leaning, in my eyes, to the Baltimore home team and the seasoned veteran and the seasoned coach. And I think that's where a lot of the handicappers are going to look. The gamblers, let me change that. The gamblers, they're going to say, Texans, they're on a roll. Stroud is something we haven't seen in a long time. You're right. Everybody's right. Now we're going to go from the JV team and we're going to play the varsity team.
Right.
What's going to happen? What is going to happen on the field might be a shock to a lot of people today. But again, we're going to go to some stats that, again, the doc said. I got a number one seeds in this weekend are 10, 25, and 1 against the spread. So that leaves in Houston's favor. So again, it's a toss-up on what you want to actually come down to narrow. And I always narrow it down to when we're in the playoffs and the money games. We're gonna pick the quarterbacks. Which quarterback are you gonna want? Well, I'm gonna take the MVP quarterback that already has one and is gonna be the only quarterback to have 2 by the time he's 26 years old. So I'm leaning to Baltimore, and that number doesn't bother me.
Right, you're leaning to Baltimore minus 9.5, minus 10. Dr. David, mindset. Lamar Jackson hasn't ever gotten over the hump.
I just want to say that I have to agree with what the man just said just a minute ago. But you take all the statistics, you take all the elements, and you take all the hype, right? And you set that aside. Because what this is going to come down to, in my opinion, is mindset. It's just mindset. Go out there. You've worked all year. You know what the plays are. You've got it together. Go out there and do your thing. Play loose, play free, play fast. Those guys know how to do it. They've been doing it their whole life. So all the statistics are right, but you got to take in mind the mindset of the players.
Mindset of the players. Ron, third down, best bets. You've been here in studio waiting patiently, chomping at the bit to jump on this one. Houston Texans, you talk about mindset. Dr. David talks about mindset. You know I like the dogs that are barking, but the weather, you can't control God, okay? If it starts snowing wild out there, I never like to bet on a dome team in those situations simply because we've seen it with the Miami Dolphins. They got obliterated out in Kansas City, and that could cost people money. I'm looking at the elements here. Baltimore minus 10. I don't think they're going to get there. I might want to buy them back a little bit to maybe minus 3, give myself a little bit of a cushion because if the weather becomes a factor, Lamar Jackson isn't running around and those wide receivers aren't going to be getting open on those deep routes. And on the flip side of that, C.J. Stroud, is he going to be able to stay accurate in that type of cold weather? 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Houston, the way they're playing. Baltimore is a juggernaut. They had a week off to prepare. I don't like the weather. I don't think people are realizing that Baltimore is the number one defense as well. So they're running into a juggernaut today. They really are. I like Baltimore today, and I think they're going to cover. I really do.
You think Baltimore is going to cover in that deep weather, that freezing tundra?
They played in week 1. They beat them 25-9. I see the same thing happening.
He says it's going to happen again. JB, the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express. Again, my main man, Ron, third down, best bets. Live here in studio, Ronnie B on the line with me, Troy West from TroyWins.com. I'll give you guys a couple of shout-outs if you have any. And then, of course, we're going to take this short commercial break. Ronnie B, quick shout-out. Go ahead and tell them where they can get your power play.
Well, you can catch us at jbtheticket.com, Ronnie B. We're on a good roll. Last week we went 4-0 on the playoffs, and we're looking to make some money. It might be a little tougher this weekend, but come and join us.
That's right. Go to jbtheticket.com, click the live link for Ronnie B. Troy West from TroyWins.com. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Give us where you can get your top pick at this weekend. Go ahead.
Yeah, get to TroyWins.com. The link's right there in front of you. Put in your phone number. We'll give you all of today's card absolutely free, which includes UFC tonight as well.
UFC loaded in there tonight as well. Troy West from TroyWins.com. Follow him on Instagram at It's Troy Wins. Ron, third down, best bets. Quick shout out. 10 seconds. Go ahead.
I'm at RaiderHawk1 on Instagram, RaiderHawk001 on Twitter, and you can get my picks at jbtheticket.com under Ron, third down, best bet.
That's right. That's where you're going to get the cash. Dr. Dave, a quick shout out. I know you got your wife here in the studio with you, kicking it with us, making us up early in the morning. Go ahead.
You can reach me at my website. It's the Lighthouse Sessions. There's information there about what I do, who I am, a lot of testimonies. There is information that you can fill out. There's an email there. Go there, put your information in. I'll reach out. We'll talk about what's going on, what you're looking for, and how I can help you in a fairly short period of time.
That's the way to do it. Again, JB the Ticket, Vegas, ScoreboardExpress.com, waking you up early in the morning with the Grease. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more Ravens, and then we're going to jump into that afternoon game, the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers. So you guys keep it locked here with me, and let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big four, JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
In times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. We salute those who have given their lives for our country. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
This salute is courtesy of Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, serving our area with quality and pride. For a fantastic meal, stop by 1331 West Warm Springs Road in Henderson, or call them at 725-214-4140. That's 725-214-4140. Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to our brave.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
It's time to wake up and win the weekend.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JP the Ticket, giving you that grease.
Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time for the live action on Vegas Scoreboard Express on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400. Dive into the game day with my in-depth analysis, expert predictions, and winning plays from the sharpest minds in sports betting. It's more than just placing bets. It's about securing wins. Head over to jbtheticket.com and be sure to tune in to KSHP this weekend from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time to ride the winning wave with VSX. Tune in and get your money back from the sports book. All money, all sports, no bull. Missed the live show? Subscribe to Vegas Scoreboard Express on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcast and radio listening.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network. To the boss of the big ball, JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Turn that shit off. Giving you that grease.
Back at you live, JB the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express here on 107.1 FM and AM 1400 KSHP right here in Las Vegas, waking you up each and every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time, and that is 11 to 12 on the East Coast. And I've got an East Coaster here with me, my main man, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook and Roto.com. I'm burning up the lines with grease this morning. I know you guys hear a lot of static out there. You guys can also tune in on Spotify, our digital feed, to get you where you want to be. You can also go to tunein.com. And most importantly, you got to follow my man John Ryan from rotowire.com and Predictive Sports Betting Playbook on the X-Bird at John Ryan Sports 1. So, John, we've got a special guest here in studio with us today, Dr. David Schoonover, sports psychiatrist. Couples, anyone who needs help getting their life together, go to thelighthouseSessions.com. I'm sure he can help you nationwide. We got Zoom calls. We got telehealth. Takes most and every all insurance. Takes cash as well. So if you want to mail him a donation and mail it to the station, we'll hook it up for him. I want to talk to you a little bit about this Baltimore Ravens game. You're out in the East Coast. Talk to us a little bit about the weather. What's going on out there? Are you getting a lull, or is it just the calm before the storm? Go ahead, John.
Well, I think it's going to be quite calm, relatively speaking, for Eastern United States weather today. The temperature is going to be in the mid-20s, which is almost balmy compared to some of the other games we've seen. Wind speeds are going to be about 15 miles an hour at game time, and will be steadily decreasing to probably 9 or 10 by the time the second half starts. So as the setting sun goes down in the east, a lot of times the wind speeds go down with it. Also, the wind is coming out of the west-northwest, JB, and that means that I'm not sure which side the press is. I've been to that stadium several times, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. But the one side of the field will definitely be with the wind, and the other side obviously will be against the wind. I'm not sure if that's going to mean anything, because it is a bowl-type stadium that has it protects the field a lot more than, say, MetLife Stadium in New York City, which has swirling winds, and you never know which way the ball is going to go as a kicker.
Right.
But I don't think the weather is going to be too much of a problem for either team and either quarterback or the kickers.
Right. I mean, in my opinion, though, the cold. We saw what happened to Tua Tagovailoa. It was so cold out there, he threw one deep pass and said, I'm not doing this no more. C.J. Stroud, okay? He's a dome player. We've seen this several times in this particular playoffs. The dome teams, they play well. Look at how well Green Bay did last week. Some teams take it the other way. The road team comes to the dome and they like being inside. This is a flip around. These guys have got to play in that 20-degree weather, and that's not some weather that you really want to go out and play in, right? But you're talking about C.J. Stroud here. He's coming into this game poised to win the Rookie of the Year. He's a big God, man. Very confident in his faith, confidence in his beliefs, and I think that can carry him. But on the other side, I look at Lamar Jackson, and this is one of those proving years. His head coach, his brother, won the national championship with Michigan. Okay? Lamar has got pressure in his ear from Jim Harbaugh's brother, looking at him like, hey, you got to win for me, okay? We can't take no losses. So the line makers are making it tougher for you to try to put cash in your pocket from the spread. Talking about that -9 today, the Baltimore Ravens at home, -455. That's a huge full price. You got to bet $1 million to win anything. Talk about what you think is going to happen here. They've got a total out there of 43.5. Of course, guys, I've still got him on the line with me. Troy West from TroyWins.com and Ronnie B from JBTheTicket.com. You guys will chime in. Of course, Doc is still here in studio, and Ron Third Down Best Bets. But I want to talk to you about that, because that total of 43.5, if you've got to win by 10, a 20 to 30 type of outcome either side, or are we going to look at one of these tight unders with a lot of kicks, a lot of field goals, if the wind is dying down, just because the guys can't get up to get hit and bruised up in that cold weather? I'm thinking maybe a 13 to 3 type game, leaning if the Ravens have to get that -9.5, -10. Go ahead, John Ryan.
Well, I think this is probably going to be a little bit higher scoring, JB. I respectfully think that the players, when you're playing 25-degree weather, that's far different than playing at 0 or minus wind chills of -20, for example. As an athlete a long time ago, I remember that it was it was much different when it was in the 20s and higher, of course, than it was when it was in the single digits with a wind of 15 or more miles an hour. Monumentally different. So I don't think the dome part of the Houston Texans is going to impact them all that much. I think more it's going to be the Baltimore defense that's going to kind of rule the roost here. But I do like a couple prop bets with C.J. Stroud. It might sound crazy, but for him to throw 2 touchdowns, I think is reasonable. You're getting paid plus 165. Moreover, if Texas plays with the confidence that they have, and after all, they're playing with house money. They've had a tremendous season. C.J. Stroud is way 5-9 loss on opening day to the Ravens at MAT. That was at Baltimore too. So he has one game as his experience at Baltimore. And to say that he could throw 3 touchdowns in this game, I don't think it's unimaginable. Yeah, it may not happen, and I might lose this piece of money bet, but I'm getting paid 7-1, guys, that he throws 3 or more touchdowns. And, I can't leave that alone. I got to put at least $10, $20 on that and, have some fun with the game, too.
He's telling you take a prop bet on C.J. Stroud. Again, JB the Ticket, VegasScoreboardExpress.com is where you can go for our daily deals. Again, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Let's talk about this afternoon game for a little bit, guys. We've been talking about the morning game. Again, watch these games live on Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. I'm giving you 15% off of your first month. This is a big mindset game here, people. We're talking about 2 quarterbacks, another quarterback setup. One is Mr. Irrelevant, has made himself more relevant than everyone. Talking about Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers, rotation number 304. They're at home today up in the Bay Area, -10 as well, -450, very expensive. But they've got a young quarterback coming into their house in the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. Showing you that love. Making it happen, guys. +10, +340. Last week in a dome, beat the Dallas Cowboys, had poor Jerry Jones was crying, sniveling. You had Jimmy Johnson at the Fox News studios. Get me over to the sideline. Look, you got to hold Stroud. You got to get after him. And I think that's going to be the key today, talking about that San Francisco 49ers defense. They're loaded, healthy. We heard some talk about they were possibly, I don't know, getting some signal steel, calling out, practicing for a team beforehand. Throwing this one to you, Ron Third Down Best Bets. You're here in studio just over there, just smiling like a Cheshire cat. I know that you've been itching for these California teams. The 49ers, man, they've let me down in the past with these huge spreads. This is a rematch of the NFC Championship game that Linwood Hard Rock Hamilton was on a couple of years ago. Shout out to Defender of the Youth. Remember, guys, this NIL stuff, we might touch on it a little bit tomorrow, but the 49ers, everyone has been saying for the last 3-4 weeks that I asked, who do you think is going to the big game here in Las Vegas? And they're saying 49ers, Ravens. But the Green Bay Packers are going to have something to say about that today. At +10, do you think that they continue to shock people on the offensive side? We've seen the Green Bay Packers come out and score early and often. But then in the second half, that defense kind of lets up a little bit. Let's not forget the Cowboys scored 30 points last week, and that should have been a complete blowout, but it was an overplay. Shout out Ronnie B. Las Vegas telling you take the over on that. Also you, Ronnie, but you went the wrong way, told us take the Cowboys. But again, the 49ers, are they going to be able to do it today? Are they finally going to be able to show that Brock Purdy is not a system quarterback and show that Jason McCaffrey has got the ability to be a number 1 running back and one of the few running backs still producing? Go ahead.
Well, I think they've already shown it all season. Brock Purdy's not a system quarterback. He has had a great year, doesn't get a lot of credit. He's a machine. They had a 3-game bad streak where they had a lot of injuries and people got off the train. 49ers, their defense is a lot better than Dallas. So Jordan Love is going to have a lot of people chasing him today. D. Greenlaw is going to be introducing himself quite a bit, I think. And I like the 49ers again. I really do. I think Green Bay will keep it closer. It'll be under the 9.5 spread. I really do.
Troy West from TroyWins.com. I'm going to throw this one at you. You talk about the total here, 51. Green Bay, San Francisco. A dynamic offense versus a dynamic defense. Can the Green Bay Packers get inside of that +10 today? When I look at what they did last week with the Cowboys, I was very impressed in the first half. But I don't like second half defensive meltdowns, okay? That can cost you money. It can cost you an over if you're an under better. And I like the Green Bay Packers to come in today, unfortunately, and fall flat on their face. I've seen it too many times. And I'm looking at the 49ers and I'm saying, what do they have to lose? If it's a win by none, lose by, nothing situation, and you've got the San Francisco 49ers saying, let's just go out, win the game, let the Green Bay Packers do what they kind of do, just shut down their offense. Do you think the under could be in play today at under 51? Go ahead, Troy West.
Yeah, I can see it at play. I mean, you got to understand, last week, Aaron Jones had a heck of a day against Dallas, 150 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He's not going to do anything like that against the San Francisco defense. The San Francisco defensive front is a much different animal than the Dallas Cowboys. They were able to establish the run last week. I do not see them being able to establish the run this week. This Green Bay offense is good, but let's not forget, just 2 weeks ago, they struggled to put up points at home against the Chicago Bears. They are going to struggle against this 49er defense, which I think without a doubt puts under 51 at play.
Under 51, the 49ers defense. Dr. David, you're here in studio. I'm going to bring you and Ronnie B on the line together. When you talk about it from the perspective of quarterback play, Jordan Love hits his second year. He's trying to prove that he can be that starter, that new guy that fills in Green Bay. Green Bay is a type of team that likes a long-term quarterback. We haven't really seen them do the quarterback round robin. Okay? They'll bring in a guy, maybe a stopgap year, but they went ahead and went away from Aaron Rodgers, who stunk it up in New York. I don't think he was injured, by the way. I think that was some inside play. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but like I'm talking about now, Jordan Love is one of those guys who believes that he can win. And when you get a guy that believes he can win, I think there's a possibility they could maybe get inside of that spread, maybe make this a 14-21 type game. But I think that the San Francisco defense is going to be that much stronger. But when you go into it from, like you said, the head coaching perspective, Matt LaFleur looking like hanging around. They're talking about firing other head coaches, things like that. How do you think the headspace is going to be between these two head coaches in this particular matchup? Because, again, when you look at what LaFleur's got riding, he doesn't win this game. He may have a job secure, but we've seen some round robin in the coaching side. Do you think that could affect the Green Bay Packers as well? Maybe he won't be as aggressive if the run game doesn't get established, maybe more mistakes on the pick side. Go ahead, Dr. Day.
Well, I think that, like I mentioned earlier, the mindset, these teams have tremendous athletes. They are going to do everything they can to win the game. They're going to play their game plan. From a therapy type of perspective, it used to be a long time ago that therapy was taboo. You can't go to therapy unless you're in a crazy house. You don't do that, right?
Right.
But you take a look at when you start working with these. I've worked with professional basketball players, professional soccer players, football players. The professional athletes are very much the same. What happens is you start seeing these guys showing up at a bar with a gun. You see these guys wasting money. You see these guys making all these mistakes, and nobody's working with them. Working with these, in my past, working with these folks, understanding why they do what they do, why they act and why they react, those kind of things. Now, you take that mentality into a game like we're talking about, right? Those guys know what they're going to do. They know how to act. They know how to react. But do the coaches know that?
Right. That's the key. Go ahead.
I'm not sure that they do. Like I mentioned earlier, they know what their birthday is and how many kids they have. But what makes that man tick? How do you motivate that man? And it starts with the head coach. He's got to understand who he's coaching. And for most of these players, they don't.
And that's the key I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I'm leading into this. Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan were assistant coaches back in the Texans many moons ago. They worked together. Now, when you go into that dynamic, that's why I brought it up. Which coaches had more success recently? They've been kind of even, right?
Yeah.
But if there's a dynamic that we don't know, whether it's friendship, whether it's an issue between them, some beef we don't know about, I think that's going to be the factor today. And I don't think that either one of these teams are going to want to blow each other out. And that's why I'm telling you guys, take the under. That's where the cash is going to be. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. My main man, Dr. David Schoonover, is in the building. You can follow him over at thelighthouseSessions.com. Troy West, Troy wins.com. Follow him at It's Troy West. Ronnie B, Chief Handicapper, JBTheTicket.com, giving you the grease here. Ron Third Down Best Bets. Follow him on the Instagram at RaiderHawk1. And John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. So, guys, when I get back, we got about 15 minutes. We're going to talk some more division rounds, some prop bets. We're going to also talk about the Raiders hiring Antonio Pierce. I think I had a lot to do with that. I'm the first and only radio host here in town to tell you to take the interim off of his name, and look what they did. So, again, I'm expecting a care package, Raiders, and Antonio Pierce. Maybe we can go low rider shopping together. JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express when I get back from this short commercial break. We're getting straight grease, straight money. Get it.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease. Your cable bill this month. Enjoy the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
The Radio Shopping Show is heard right here on KSHP North Las Vegas, AM and FM, 829 6HP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sportsbook or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
More fire, more heat.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Giving you that grease. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Always spitting that explosive fire.
Waking you back up early in the morning here at Las Vegas. JB the Ticket, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Giving you the grease here. My main man, Troy West from TroyWins.com is in the house. Troy West. And, of course, my main man, Ronnie B, Chief Handicapper at JBTheTicket.com. Ron Third Down Best Bets. The whole crew is in the building, guys. I got so much going on in the big board, it can't handle me. I told them we're not worried about anything except for putting cash in your pocket. Again, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook, on the line with us as well. Dr. David Schoonover, the chief physician, mind doctor. That's right. The mind is a terrible thing to waste and a terrible thing not to treat. And that's why I've been bringing in more people to help us. I know he can help me. A lot of you folks have seen me have these meltdowns. I can get dangerous. Okay. But we're going to talk about it today again, jumping into the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we got to take care of some hometown business. They picked up Antonio Pierce, took the interim off of his name. He's about to get the bag, people. Your brand new head coach from Compton, Antonio Pierce. And they got rid of the entire offensive staff like I told you they should, because that offense was terrible. Okay? Fire them all. And I know what he's going to do. He's going to pull a Coach Prime. He's going to get some experienced head coaching guys around him. We've heard that Marvin Lewis, former head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, has been sniffing around town. One of my friends was like, man, I was over at the casino and seeing Marvin Lewis. I'm like, thanks for the grease. But when we talk about it going into next year, we got to look at the draft, okay? The draft the past couple of years hasn't been great. I'm going to be honest with you. I told him back in the day Alex Leatherwood wouldn't be with the team. I didn't think Ruggs would end up with the problems that he has. Damon Arnett, same deal, the legal issues, picking up guys that can't remain healthy. This is a deep and a rich draft. and a lot of people's feelings are going to get hurt on that roster. I'm just saying. We only got about 5 to 8 guys who I think we should build around the core, the offense, defense, special teams, keep Carlson. But there's a lot of spots open on that O-line, the running back position. Let's talk about that a little bit. Josh Jacobs, he didn't have the greatest season. You go from number 1 to number done by the last 3 days of the season. I'm telling you right now, when you go into this draft, a lot of talent, quarterback heavy. You've got defensive talent heavy. There's possibility maybe, Jalen Daniels, LSU. He's got a connection with Antonio Pierce. The Raiders, I think, are picking at number 13, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got a first-round draft pick, top 15 pick. They've got to have the right mindset to do that. In my opinion, I can just throw some names out there for assistant coaches that you might want to look at. You might want to go for a quarterback whisperer standpoint. Aiden O'Connell, he ain't that bad, but they need a quarterbacks coach who can come in, who's got experience of making it. And I'm telling you, go get Kurt Warner. You got to get Kurt Warner on the phone, okay? Kurt Warner is the guy that you need and from that mindset to put cash in your pocket. You might even want to reach out to your old teammate, Eli Manning, okay? Get him off of that corny-ass couch show. Dude, him and his brother sitting there, well, no, we're not trying to do that. We want to get the proper coordinators. When you go from the defensive side of the ball, you've got a lot of mentors coming out of the college ranks. You're even seeing some of the guys, again, moving around here on the team. Let's go to mindset here. The Raiders, it's just win, baby. It's always been that. But now you've got a guy who said he's Raiders through and through. Been rocking the jersey since he was a kid. Super Bowl champion pedigree in my hometown, New York Giants back in the day. He's got to surround himself with talented individuals because he's got to right this pirate ship, okay? This year, we're hosting the big game. We're missing out on it. 1 game away from the wild card. I talked about this in the beginning of the season and now. Shout out to my main man, Daryl Harris, CBS 8, KLAS 8 News now here in Las Vegas. His cohorts, Ozzie Moore, everybody over there rocking with your boy JB. We talked about this in the beginning of the season. He's got to put together a staff that is poised to win, and the draft is right there. And there's a man kicking it around with the NBA basketball team, the WNBA basketball team, by the name of Tom Brady. Bring him in the football room. He should be the lead man for the draft. You've got guys who were not drafted high. Antonio Pierce himself was an undrafted free agent coming back out of the day. These are guys who know how to win. Sometimes it's not the prima donna you pick, and they got to fix that scouting department too. You got to start going out to the HBCUs. You got to start getting to some of these Division I AAs, FCS, FBS. Can he play? Bring him in. Go ahead, Doctor.
You take a look at the head coach for the Raiders. This man's loyal. He bleeds Raider blood, no question. He is a loyal. He's going to be a great coach. He's bringing in a new mindset, right? And I think that I'm just going to throw this out there. I think that I would be a very valuable asset to the team by helping him understand his coaching staff, right? You want to be a leader. You want to lead these guys, but you got to know how they think. You got to know how they're going to act and react, right? Same with the players. Now, I think what happens a lot of time, as you mentioned, the draft. There was a movie a while back with Brad Pitt. It was Moneyball or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So they brought a statistician in, and he's picking these guys that maybe not too many people heard of. In that vein, in that mindset, these men that are pro football players are incredible athletes. How can you lead them? How can you get the most out of them? They don't necessarily need to be the Lamar Jacksons of the world. Mm-hmm. But they'll make a name for themselves by following the coaching staff and how they lead them. But the problem is for most coaching staffs is they don't really know how to lead. They got a lot of wins, and that makes them a great coach. Well,
we've been talking about that. He said his resume was put on the field, and again, I liked him because of the attitude, okay? Fire and passion is the key. I'm going to tell you right now what I see, okay? As a former leader of men, I understand exactly what you're saying, He's a motivator. He's got to get the X's and O's guys to master their craft. And if he's able to do that, I think he's going to be one of the better head coaches in the National Football League going forward because he does have something that the other head coaches in the league, many of them have, but many of them don't. He's got a Super Bowl ring, okay? That's what all these kids are playing for. So when you go get it from that perspective and you say to yourself, is Antonio Pierce the guy? Yes, I always thought he was the guy. but they've got some specific areas, in my opinion, that they need to fix. Ronnie B here in Las Vegas. My opinion is the draft, okay? You've gotten rid of the offensive staff. Let's bring in some new guys. Let's bring in some vets, but also people that gel. I think they do well to bring back Randall Cunningham for some prayer in that locker room, because you got to pray out some of them losing demons y'all got in there. Lord have mercy. Got to score more than 20 points. You got to bring in a stalwart. You got to bring in somebody who can air it out, open up that offense. Ronnie B, Las Vegas. We got about 5 minutes left. I'll give you a minute on this topic. The Las Vegas Raiders, new head coach Antonio Pierce, making it happen here in town. 30 seconds. What do they got to do to be successful in this upcoming draft? And is there a specific player do you think we should target at 13? Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say congratulations to the coach, but now, as we talked earlier, he's playing with his money now instead of house money. So now he's got to prove that he can be a winner. When you're the interim coach, expectations aren't as high because you're taking over for somebody that they got rid of. So now he went 4-4 or 4-5. So nothing to write home about. Now the pressure's on. He's got to do the analysis of the players. He's got to come up with a quarterback because O'Connell's not going to do it. Garoppolo's probably going to be gone. They have no quarterback. So if you're at number 13, yeah, you need to get a quarterback with a trade or a pick. And that's my opinion. But he's got a lot of work to do, so I congratulate him, but let's see how he handles the pressure.
That's right. You got to get to work. Again, JB the Ticket, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Got about 3 minutes left, guys. When we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to get everybody's best pick on this. Troy wins from Troy. Troy, I did it again. Troy wins because I know you win, brother. Troy West from TroyWins.com. 30 seconds. What are your thoughts on what the Raiders are doing right now? I know you come out to Vegas a lot and you were expecting a lot more out of them this season. The draft, I know you're going to have some prop bets coming up draft season. Do the Raiders need to pick one of these quarterbacks? I mean, you got Bo Nix out there. You got Michael Penix Jr. You got J.J. McCarthy. You've even got, like I said, the Jaden Daniels kid, Marvin Harrison Jr., possibility to fill in that wide receiver slot that we haven't been able to find someone on the opposite side of Devontae Adams if he chooses to stay or if he chooses to go. 30 seconds. What say ye? Go ahead. Troy West.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. And I know you're a fan of the hire, JB. I haven't seen where you hire an interim coach that was a linebackers coach. Have not seen it work in the NFL. Maybe he could be an anomaly, but like you said, he's got a lot of work cut out. That defense is brutally bad. The secondary is bad. You've got holes at wide receiver. You've got culture issues with guys like Devontae Adams. So Antonio Pierce has got his work cut out. They got to go quarterback, but the problem is, JB, I don't know if you've got a franchise quarterback in this draft. Caleb Williams, maybe, but everybody else is a true wild card. So it'll be interesting to see if they waste the top 15 pick on a risky pick at the quarterback position. I'm going to be really intrigued by this, but I think they've got a long ways to go. I know their record wasn't as bad as we thought this year. They came up strong at the end of the year. But I think next year is going to be a whole different story.
There you go. John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. Guys, I'm not even going to take a break. We got 2 minutes left. Let's go around the board again. Thank you so much for stopping in studio with me, Dr. David Schoonover. Check him out. Sports psychiatrist, couples therapist, anybody who needs help getting their life together. TheLighthouseSessions.com. Troy West from It'sTroyWins.com. Again, follow him at It's Troy West on Instagram. My main man, Ronnie B, JBTheTicket.com, Chief Handicapper. Ron, Third Down Best Bets here in studio. And then John Ryan. We're going to go around the round board like that. We got about 45 seconds. I'm going to give you guys each 5 seconds. What's your best pick of the day? And then tomorrow, of course, NFL Sunday division rounds. Go ahead, Dr. David.
My picks?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
One pick. Best pick.
One pick. I'm telling you what, I'm going to buck the system, and I'm going with the Texans.
He's going with the Texans. He likes the dog. Ron, Third Down Best Bets. Go ahead.
I'm going to stick with the Ravens today. Go Ravens.
Sticking with the Ravens, telling you those dirty birds are going to try to put that cash in your pocket. Troy West from TroyWins.com. What's your best play today, brother? Go ahead.
I'm tailing. I've got the Ravens as well. I think the Ravens win this one 31-13. Give me the Ravens.
He's telling you take the Ravens. Ronnie B, Chief Handicapper, JBTheTicket.com. Tell me where the cash is at today, and we know you go to the website and get your pick. Go ahead.
Lines are too close. I'm going to take the total 30.5 San Francisco over. Just play the total on Frisco and make the money.
Telling you take the total. Frisco, make the money. John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. I don't know if you're still on the line with me here, but are you still rocking with me? Yeah, go ahead. What's your best play today? Then I got to get out of here.
I like the Texans. Teams on a 3 or more game win streak, a dog of 4.5 to 10 points in the playoffs, 70% against the spread.
70% against the spread. And guys, that's a wrap. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. We're going to be back tomorrow, Sunday. The divisional rounds again. Rotation number 301. The Houston Texans plus 10. Baltimore Ravens minus 10. The money line is too expensive. And the Green Bay Packers, I think they're going to get smacked today. But you guys got to wake up and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball,